Martin Luther King Jr. was born to a middle-class family who were involved with the Southern Black Ministry. His father and maternal grandmother were Baptist preachers. The family lived on Auburn Avenue, which was home to some of the nation's largest and most prosperous black businesses and black churches prior to the Civil Rights Movement. The Civil Rights Movement protested against racial discrimination and segregation. This movement had begun due to the centuries-long efforts of enslaved Africans and their descendants to resist and abolish both slavery and racial oppression. Martin Luther King Jr. was an American social activist who led the civil rights movement in the United States during the 1960s. He is well known for his "I Have a Dream" speech, which spoke of his dream of a nation without segregation and racism.
I have a dream. My four little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day, down in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interpositionfication, one day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today.
The rising tide of civil rights agitation produced, as King had hoped, a strong effect on national opinion and resulted in the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, authorizing the federal government to enforce desegregation of public accommodations and outlawing discrimination in publicly owned facilities, as well as in employment. While others were fighting for freedom by any means necessary, including violence, Martin Luther King Jr. used the power of words and peaceful acts, such as protests and civil disobedience, to achieve his goals. In sociology, King's work has influenced scholars and researchers around the world. His writings, speeches, and efforts to create a just and more equitable society for all continue to inspire sociologists and other social scientists. In political science, his work brought under scrutiny a host of modern concepts, including the nation, the citizen, and rights. He dreamed not only of an end to legal segregation but of a just world in which our social, economic, and political institutions allowed all individuals access to resources and opportunities that enable true citizenship and potential. King's leadership contributed to the overall success of the civil rights movement in the mid-1900s and continues to impact civil rights movements in the present. While King and other leaders generated momentous strides for equality, the push for civil rights remains a preeminent challenge today. King was not only a leader in the civil rights movement, but also a champion for equality and justice around the world. His actions and ideals continue to shape global events and cultures today, as we see ongoing fights for equality and justice all over the globe. Latifah Simon is a nationally recognized advocate for civil rights and racial justice, who has worked tirelessly to advance opportunities for communities of color and low-income communities in the San Francisco Bay Area.